You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 138 for June 2026. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, John, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. I heard you poisoned yourself.
Yeah, I last, not this for us, yesterday, but the last weekend, I was starting to finally feel better, the release away from forever always having allergies, for a long extended period of all the pollen in the world finding its way outside my house and plaguing me. So I was like, oh, I can, and also not having a complicated weekend or many things eating away at all my free time. I found myself in a place where I was like, oh, I can do something for me, and I'm
You
feeling
can be adventurous. I
I
can cook.
I can cook and I can do things like I can just do stuff for myself, and I had this energy and I felt better balanced. And so what I did is I made myself pasta from scratch, and that was part of the event. And I was like, oh, let's not just do butter. Let's do something more adventurous. And I looked at what I had in the fridge, and I thought everything was good and not expired. And I think everything did have the correct not expired, use by dates, and clearly some stuff that I had was expired because I made myself this marinara tomato garlic sort of, I would say, creamy sauce, and I used some yogurt and I used some ranch, a little bit of hit of ranch, and I think those two things, even though they had good use by dates on them, were not good, and that resulted in me literally food poisoning myself through Sunday, and the aftermath made its way all the way pretty far late into my week of my body sort of clearing everything out of my system.
This is
Um,
why you always sniff your ingredients.
yeah, so all the intensity happened basically in Sunday and Monday, and a little follow up on Tuesday, but then everything else is just sort of a lingering affect of that. And then somewhere in there, I started coughing, like a post nasal drip thing started happening all at the same time. Not allergies, just post nasal drip. And so that was plaguing me because I was coughing a lot. And eventually, Friday, I went over to one of those patient care places, and she's like, all right, here's a steroid for 5 days and take an allergy pill. And, but I got to a place on Saturday again where I was like, yay, I feel great and in balance. And then, I started
He
making
started
sourdough last
cooking
night.
again.
Started cooking again, yeah.
Oh
But
no.
I stepped away from as much dairy as possible, not to cultivate or introduce, some reason to keep coughing, right? So I did sort of stay off cheeses, and I stayed off anything that would be dairy adjacent. So that was kind of wasn't a great thing, but I started some sourdough. So I'm making some apple cinnamon sourdough right now. That's good.
Okay.
And what else did I do? Oh, I made myself some ramen. And then by ramen, I don't mean like pulled it out of the packet and put the stuff in and boiled it. Like I would say more assembled, right? I went over to Costco yesterday, and they have some tonkatsu broth, and it's really good on its own. And I seasoned it up, and then I cooked up some meat, and then boiled noodles and put some sweet corn in, and I made myself some tonkatsu kielbasa ramen. It was really good. I still have
Okay.
some left, so I can get at that. So I'm back to my cooking adventures again, and all these things I've been wanting to do, but I just have been plagued by allergies or something else, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, that's up with me regarding that.
You also been scoping out Apple TV?
Yeah, so I got through. I watched through The Shrinking. It's a Bill Lawrence show that I heard things about. It has Harrison Ford in it. I watched through Ted Lasso. That's also pretty good. I watched through all of that. It takes some time. There's multiple seasons for both of those. And then Foundation, I have like 2.5 episodes left. Um, it's good, but also I got some problems with it.
I haven't actually watched the entire show.
Yeah, I got some
I've
problems
watched
with it.
most of it. Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of, if you read the books, there's some stuff in there that didn't make it to the TV show, and there's some stuff in the TV show that wasn't coming from the books. So
hmm So the descriptions in my head, the word or words that came up to me is it's monotonous, it's tedious at times. It's hard. I had heard myself say it to Paul on the other podcast. I said it's hard for me to like this show. I'm trying to like this show. And that was probably in the first season. Maybe I was through most of the first season when I told him that. So I'm now into the third season. So um, I guess from your perspective, right, the comparison that I think you might relate to or understand the perspective of like between Foundation and The Expanse, if you were to make a comparative. Like I found that the Foundation operates its plot more on like religious and political ideology themes, and The Expanse is way more black and white. It's more premised on selfish intents and loyalty to things, right? And they all happen in space, except The Expanse happens in space, right? And planets are like, everyone's been,
I
out in the
think
world.
I think Foundation is closer to Star Wars than The Expanse.
Yeah, I would give you that. Now the production and quality of work is good. But then you have these character types. I am Empire, right?
Yeah,
And
it's science fantasy.
yeah,
So
and
science
it's
fiction, but like fantasy
right.
more.
And then
Space fantasy.
it spends a lot of its time. So okay, so here's a side tangent that is relevant. So I used to, have some pride. I was like, oh, in height, I'm above average. I'm above average here. I'm above average. But the average, as I get older, keeps shifting. So, 20 years ago, I was above average in height. But today, people are just taller. They're taller in every dimension. So therefore, I am now, considered to be a short king. I am tiny compared to, behemoth people that are well over. Like, okay, so the average keeps changing. It's a constantly moving target that keeps changing. And so the thing is, ideologies and religious concepts keep moving and keep changing. And like you have always sort of imperfect problem is you get through a season to have this predictable the way the world's going to change, and then the way the universe is going to change in 1,000 years keeps changing. So the target, the ideas that everyone believes in for hundreds of years, has changed again, and everyone's trying to influence it. And like that's the foundation is based on this idea of that as we know it today is going to change, and the change keeps changing, and that's how they keep pushing up the plot twists on the show. And it never has this. It has this sort of built-in design to never come to a conclusion. It has
Well,
a built-in
the
design.
books have a conclusion, but yeah.
Right. Okay. But I'm just saying the TV show doesn't have that. So it keeps moving the target up, and then you keep twisting it. And it's like, well, that now justifies a reason to have a new season, new big baddie, right? Which is all shows do this. But at least they come to maybe some satisfactory close.
Well, it goes
And
into
this has,
iRobot, basically.
and this never has it. Never. And it's my same approach with Stranger Things. It will never have it. And as I understand it, never got there, right? And so this will never get there. And I have burnt so much time, as you refer to it as the 100, Alan. My quality check on investing my time into something that's terrible.
For everybody's picture, before we started, we had a discussion about some stuff, and he said that I had more of a what was it? Uh,
pension
yeah,
for.
for shitty shows. But I'm like, I don't watch anything unless I know it's going to be good. So, and then I reminded him of his obsession with the 100.
I don't know. It was an obsession. It was more of a commitment.
Obsession.
But I've since then I have learned to. There's no reason if I put so much fucking time into a thing and it doesn't go anywhere, I just stop watching it. Same thing with The Boys, right? The Boys is
Eureka.
Eureka. I liked. I
Warehouse
didn't.
13.
Eureka. I didn't love how it just concluded to an end, right? But I liked it. Same thing with Stargate, right? Even way back when it was kind of cheesy, even in its early day, but it resulted in some really awesome things later.
Yeah,
It
but
it
I
it
wouldn't
it, it
compare
grew up
like
and evolved.
Stargate to the 100.
No, 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 no. The one is designed to waste your time and attention and never give you the little tidbits of promise that like are more interesting. And I just kept watching it to have something to watch, unfortunately, because there was no Star Trek adjacent things, and there was no new Stargate adjacent things, or not enough of. So, anyhow, so my point is that in Foundation, it's just sort of its premise, its plot is sort of scripted out on flaws, and it's going to continue to burn my time. But I'm going to finish out season 3, but it's there will be a point where the price of my investment of my time might not might not match up with the Foundation if they keep just milking it. And they're milking it much better than other shows. Game of Thrones milked it a lot. I got tired of that too. I stopped caring about you know, all of it. So anyhow,
I
my
could
point
not
is,
get through the first season of the Game of Thrones.
yeah. So I just I got problems with the show, and that was my whole point. Is that it doesn't it's was it worth for me getting an Apple TV subscription for it? No. What motivated me to do that was not that show. Even though you and other people had said, "Oh, Foundation's really good." Yeah, is it? It's not bad. I mean, it's worth watching, but it's not
It's
worth.
better than the drivel that's been pushed out on other places.
Yes, right, right, right.
Way
Which is
better.
like all the Netflix stuff, which I think is a lot of shittiness, or might be okay quality shows, but their topics I'm just not interested. I'm not into mystery thrillers. Just not. Just not.
I think what Apple TV has been doing, like with shows like Foundation or Severance and that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is that they've been investing in like longer running things
Yeah.
and not giving up on them, like the Netflix way of doing things. But they're not doing a lot of them. They're doing some, and
They're
good
also putting actual.
quality.
Yeah, they're requiring production quality, which will anyone who deals with someone who wants to create a good product, um, they'll put a budget for it. Right? It's not like they don't have $1 trillion, so it's like doesn't cost them anything to do better than their competitors.
I have another thing. The Stargate thing that's been annoying.
Oh yeah, that's been
They decided to not
bailed
continue
on.
with Stargate, and they basically canceled it before it got even could get made. So it came out of the so they were preparing for they were writing and they were like working on the show, and then they decided to not go ahead with it. So now there's actions being set up with people sending tissue boxes to the head of MGM, Amazon MGM,
Oh wow.
and Michael Shanks has retweeted it, and there's lots of people who are doing all sorts of funny stuff. So I don't think that people have. I don't think they're prepared for the amount of nerds that are going to come down on them.
Yeah, so this is the only problem is that MGM owns the rights. So unless Apple comes in, which they're not going to, and steals away, and Apple will never do it because why steal away an existing material when it can be Apple original? So this can't find its path anywhere else. Its path was found under MGM being consumed by Amazon, right? So away from syphilis channel to
Wow.
sci-fi, right? Syphilis channel. It getting yanked away, and then Amazon will buy it, we'll save it, we'll produce more of it, and then they go down this route and they announce it, and then they de-announce it, and that's kind of like what the hell's going on. It's not like Amazon doesn't have the cash for it.
Yeah, I think they want something different. They're
They want the
afraid that
100.
yeah, basically, but they want something new with new characters, new stories, new like. But they shouldn't be doing that. Like they're investing in Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm like, why? But at least like the same, they did the same thing to The Expanse, where they rescued it, air quotes, and then killed it off anyway. Okay, besides the fact that one of the actors was a sex pest, but yeah, that kind of sucked.
Yeah, so
That
it's
probably put a
disappointing.
nail in the coffin as well.
Yeah, it's disappointing. We had I don't know. Okay, so externally we didn't have a lot of non-starters with Star Trek universe, and now that's getting killed off because of its new parents. You can't have shows with hope. Not allowed. They all have to be crime thrillers with werewolves and vampires,
And don't forget
and
yeah.
recreating dinosaurs.
I hate this timeline. Anyway, speaking of timelines, I went to Dokomi
Yeah.
and I didn't announce it. I didn't say I was going to be there. So, but yeah, there were 230,000 people there.
So did you go as an attendee, or did you help out your friend in
Attendee.
okay, in artist?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the second year in a row again. I went to 23. I didn't go in 24. Went to 25. Went to 26, and I might try to get a booth next year.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of depends because the next year is going to be in July, which is the hottest month in the year for that area. So temperatures of like 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think 37 is 100. Let's say 40 C,
That's gonna be hot.
104
Mm-hmm.
Fahrenheit in freedom units. So yeah, fun times. It was pretty hot on the first day. I took my brother with me. His birthday is soon, so I decided to spring a little surprise on him. I took him with me to Dokomi. That it's like a 2-hour train ride, and then he spent some money. I also spent some money. But I think for him the total cost for the entire trip was zero because I spent all the money.
Right.
This was the hotel was like 240, 250 euro for the night. We spent one night there. There's like $160 in the train travel. So it's almost $500 for everything.
Okay. Yeah, I spend most of my
For
money
him. For him.
for him,
Just for him for one day.
which doesn't include food.
And no, I spent for food as well. I spent the
Yeah.
whole food.
So you only want one day.
No, I went 3 days.
Okay.
I
Got
spent
it.
4 nights in the hotel. I spent total, I think, around 2,200. Everything combined, hotels, like the hotel for the 4 nights was like $850.
Right. Okay. Did you
So
when you booked that? Do you just book directly, or do you use some kind of discount site?
no, went straight to the hotel. But the hotel was booked up because I knew
The
when I
con
arrived
block.
there because
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was a Vodafone. Do you know what Vodafone is? It's like a phone
Um,
company.
yeah,
Uh,
but we also kind of know them as those little the eight when you bring your Apple Pay or whatever it is, they're also that too. The little pin pads when you walk up to when you're in the store. Vodafone also does that stuff here.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was a conference for Vodafone in the same hotel. Booked
Oh,
up the
okay, got it.
entire
At the same
hotel,
time.
and there was also a fashion show in the lobby at some point. I was like,
Okay.
where the hell did I end up? But yeah, the hotel is kind of weird because they have um, like a I don't know goat theme. I don't know if that's the right word. It's really shady. It looks weird. I'll send you a picture of the artwork in the lobby at some point.
Hmm.
I think I sent it last year, but yeah, it was. So I think I spent around $750 on prints and stuff.
Hmm.
Of course, I got some of it back already, but that's because people were asking me to pick up stuff for them. So,
Got it. Okay.
but some of it, not all of it, definitely not all of it. So I got a lot of prints and lots of things. I supported a lot of artists. That was my goal.
Okay, got it. That's not so that you can hang them all up in your apartment.
I do some of them,
You can do
but
some
not all of them.
drilling for your neighbors.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I have in between the rooms, there's like thinner walls. I can
Yeah.
just jam a nail into,
Got it. Okay.
so I don't really have to drill holes for that. But on the outside walls, if I were to do that, yes, but I'm not going to. So these walls behind me, this one,
Yeah.
that's like a thinner wall. I can just jam a nail in it, just hammer a nail in it, and that'll hang stuff as long as it's not too heavy.
Yeah, I mean, most of the houses here, it's all, okay, so mostly cinder block up into a certain height point above ground. And then, then it's, there's layers that are thicker than just drywall.
Yeah, but there's
Right.
like
But
we
this is
have
like
concrete, so
drywall to cinder block, right? Because that's a wall that's shared. So there's cinder block and cinder block, right, between the side walls. But the front and back walls for me, because there'll be some drywall. But inner walls in between in the house are all drywall. So they're more
okay. So
hollow.
we have concrete walls here, so
Right.
but like the inside walls are like more like sheetrock type stuff
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
with like a frame, like a metal frame on the inside. So
Right, right, right. Got it.
kind of sucks for your Wi-Fi, by the way, the metal frame.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a
Mm.
mesh. So it kind of sucks when you try to put stuff up.
Well, I mean, is that current building technique, or because obviously your apartment building has some age on it?
I think they did that in every apartment, but some of the people have ripped out some of the walls, so they have redecorated their apartment.
Interior walls, yeah, got it.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was very very busy, and on the day itself, on the first day, I get a notification from people at work. I've been saying I'm gonna be gone for this weekend. Nothing is supposed to happen. I prepared everything, so you don't have to call me. And what do I get?
Everyone
Call
calling
from
you.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the way if I message somebody, if I send them an email, it's an inconsistent notification message with people at work. But the way some of the people work is they just ignore everything. And maybe occasionally in sort of a group chat that's like, let's say, just for the devs or just for the whole team, they might get back to you. But for the most part, if I'm getting a call, I get it to my personal cell phone or I get it through Teams at work where people are like, Alan, I need things. Okay, would have been great to give me some advance notice because I'm on the train right now. So people
Yeah.
just sort of call attack, where they
Yeah,
call when you in
I
the
was
moment
in
of
the
when they need
line.
something.
I was in the line to go into the event.
Yeah. Um,
And I can't tell you what actually happened. It was just very, very, very stupid. And it had a big impact. So I was like,
we
okay, okay,
don't
hold
at work.
on.
We don't really have the greatest organized way of communicating when people are taking off. But what we do is we set up our calendar invite and we invite the team tentatively, and we set the status of the event non-blocking, and then we send that to the whole group, and that's how you know what other people's PTO is.
Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Yeah, it was not good. Anyway, but the event was kind of good. The first day was torture. My brother is not the fastest walker, so he also was not very used to a big con like this. Like he's used to like the Dutch Comic Con stuff. So
Right,
he's
you
not.
just sort of mosey around for 12 hours inside a confined thousand, well, probably 10,000
Well, he
square
was
foot
basically
space.
dead after 5 hours.
Right, it requires a lot of. It used to be when I was in my early diabetes adventure and I was on the path of starving myself. That was the way I was getting my numbers to be normie numbers. And then I'd walk like 10, 15 miles in the concourse of the convention space going to Otakon, and I come back from that, from that, and then I have lab tests coming upcoming weekend. I'm like, oh, your numbers look great. Oh, it's only because I walk like 20 miles, like furiously between the last 3 days.
Yeah,
So
I have lab tests coming up this week.
yeah, I'm up to
And
like
I walked so much on the over those 3 days.
yeah. Otakon's my exercise event for the year.
Oh, for the year. Wow. Okay.
Because I don't just given how the timing of when I going into work, how early I'm getting up and not having enough bandwidth. That being said, I bought and built a pull-up tower. I stuck it in one of my spare bedrooms, and every time I use it, I'm so reminded when I'm doing pull-ups on this thing. It's like, oh my god, I got to go back to the gym because two
There's
becomes tough.
so how many people go to Otakon?
Um, our size is different. So I don't know what we did when the year I got COVID, which was what, a couple years ago. That was 46,000. I think we were under that last year.
Okay.
It varies, right? Depends on what political BS is happening in the area that makes parents uncomfortable. Um, so
So
I
when is
don't
Otakon?
know. All I know is the pre-sale stuff was definitely up. So I know that's like an indicator.
Do you have
Uh,
any sales of tickets at the door?
oh yeah. They do that. They'll do it all the way up to one day on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So they'll do 3 day, right?
So
And
for
then
Dokomi, it's all, like always sold out. There's
so
like no tickets
the
left.
way, and I assume this is still accurate, but they don't look at as they look at as the sale of the membership, right? Which is if you got 3 days, it's not three people, it's one person. That's how they call it. So it's not what some people do turnstile. So a lot of other smaller conventions or bigger ones, they'll say, "Oh, that's three people." No, that's one person for us. So we look at that legitimate amount of sales,
Yeah, no,
and then some people
this
will
is
look at
one
it as
individual
yeah, and then some
per thing.
people look at it as and so there's no. I think there's 3 day and then 1 day. I don't know if there's a 2 day one. There might be. There might be a Saturday Sunday. So possibly, I don't know. I haven't had to buy a membership in so long. Yeah, because I've been staff. So the price increases, I pay the difference. So and
Yeah.
I pay the delta, but I don't pay the full amount. So I haven't had to go through that process in a long time. So I'm very unaware, and I haven't really spent a lot of time on documenting registration. I mean, I do it here and there, but I don't do it as a fundamental focus of the documentary stuff. So last year I heard, last year I found out I didn't have a room, but this year I have a secured room. Great, but I don't have all that equipment anymore. I'm bringing equipment, less equipment this year. I've not spent uh, thousands of dollars yet that I don't have yet on on getting a new camera and lenses, a set of lenses. I was looking at buying the same camera body that I had, and it's still holding the same price I bought it when I bought it new many years ago, which is crazy. So I was like, okay, let me get the latest, next, whatever, and the price difference is only a few $100s. And then I was like, oh well, why don't I just get a full frame camera? And it's not much of a difference there either. But then the price goes up, and then I got to buy lenses, right? And then buying crop sensor lenses versus full frame lenses, the prices are about the same. So for me to have a small selection of lenses that I built up over time, I can't go back to that immediately. But I'm spending as much as I'm spending for the camera body. So, and if I buy an adapter and get some Sigma lenses, because the EF mount lenses are better. But anyhow, I started looking at that to sort of price it out in my head, and I
$1 million.
I just couldn't do that in the short term before I go, the end of maybe. But I just I've needed this money for other things, my mother's things, that kind of stuff. So and any money that comes back from her estate, if it comes back, because everyone gets your mother owed us money stuff, there might not be anything left behind after debts are paid. So there might not be anything for me to have, and I might not get my cost back.
At Otakon this year, then?
I'm still doing the documentary stuff.
But you're using phones and stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to use my phone again.
Okay. Well, that sucks.
Well, when I'm doing interview stuff and I'm doing wide shots, I don't need... And actually, what I was doing before is when I was doing interviews, I was using my good camera in the room, right? And so last year, because I didn't have a room to use and to put all my gear and stuff in, and obviously my camera bag got lifted in that process, that was a great cost to me. But I could do that a little bit at a time over the course of time, right? The way I was using the high quality camera was not run and gun. I was using it for interviews. So I had a limited use case I was using it for. And so I realized, in looking at the quality of material, I wasn't benefiting significantly from the higher quality optic. I mean, you always are, right? But the way it works is I want to start evolving what I'm doing. So I don't want to just do... There are a couple things where I want two people of note that hold a certain role to sit down together and talk to each other about what they used to do, right? I want that sort of, you've seen those things in Vanity Fair or whatever, where actors talk to actors. I kind of want some of that. Not a round table so much but I want to light up and sort of have, but in that case, I need 3 cameras. I need 2 dedicated high quality cameras and 1 wide, which I could use my phone. So for that, it's not just that I need 1 camera, I need 2. And then I need corresponding glass for that. And then, oh, by the way, I should probably buy another Atomos recording monitor if I'm going to do that. Right? And I got the mics. We're good on the mics. And Amaran's got some new lighting stuff. And I didn't buy any new light stuff. Probably not yet. Maybe I go. But I'm always trying to reduce the amount of, I have these Godoks and they're fine, but it's a whole bag of crap I got to bring just to support bringing the Godoks. I need mains power. So the more complexity I can reduce, the more I can scale down the amount of weight I carry and the amount of stuff I carry, and the more I can pack it into a couple wagons that won't fall off on the street unbeknownst to me, and that there goes my camera bag. Like, the more I can reduce the stress of that whole package, the better. So this year I'm using phones again. If I just had, if I had a spare $4,000, I would have just bought what I needed and I'd be up and running again. You know, and I'm not even talking about two camera situation, but that would be most optimal because that's when the people are present together. You're going to take two old, con chairs and have them talk to each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, for Dokomi, two more things. I went to a Japanese restaurant, a tiny, tiny, tiny little place, Sakura Gia in Dusseldorf, and the food there was great. I loved it. I went back two more times. I don't know. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, two more times, and it was really good. So first day I picked up, and then second day I went there with my brother, and then the third day I was just there to pick up again. And then I was going to go back on Sunday, but I was like, maybe I don't show up again.
Right.
That would be a bit...
Well, I mean, they understand that. They rely on touristy stuff. But also, once you find a good location that's good and didn't make you feel sick and isn't, too overpriced, you go back.
Food location, so that's on my list of, hey, this is okay.
Right. Yeah. And like in DC, there's a lot of good food places, but you really don't. If you're walking in a group during normal daylight hours or normal time, you're safe. But you shouldn't be. I shouldn't be venturing out to go find food on my own if I don't know where I'm going. I don't know the lay of the land. So anytime I do that, I do it with other people who live in the area or are more adventurous about it. But I wouldn't be. Right. I put myself in an area of concern if I do that.
There is another thing, and that is that the Deutsche Bahn sucks.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
They suck. They suck so much. Deutsche Bahn is the train company
out there
in Germany.
Got it.
And I traveled by international train, and on the way back, it was like, oh, it's a half an hour because there are unauthorized people on the train tracks. Okay, but that was like 4 hours ago. Oh, but there was another train in front of it that was delayed. So, and then it went to 45 minutes. So, yeah. And I had a lot of trouble with the NS, the Dutch Railway International part thing. They were doing all sorts of funky stuff with saying that the train trip couldn't happen because the Dutch part of the train had a new schedule. So even though I booked months in advance, they couldn't adjust the schedule, and tell me, hey, the schedule has changed a little bit. It was 2 minutes difference. That was it. And they said, oh, we can't do the trip. So yeah, that's.
So did you have to buy a new trip at a high price?
I ended up getting a new ticket. I also got another ticket from my brother, but because it was so close, it was a little bit more expensive. So that's why I spent a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
So,
the Otakon experience for me is, has to be affordable, especially during the times where I wasn't making as much money. It will not be much of an impact for me as it was last year or maybe the year before, but outside of my own personal expenses for equipment and dragging everything around, most of my expense goes into me paying for the valet parking for the whole weekend.
Yeah. I will probably be traveling by car.
Yeah, and then I charge up on the way down. Last year, a friend of mine used my reference code, referral code, to buy his Tesla, and it was all free supercharging, and I think that ended today. Yeah, I think it ended. So
you don't get a kickback anymore?
But only for a year. I got like I don't supercharge that often. So when I supercharged last year, it didn't cost me anything
I thought you
because it
get
was
like
I
a.
had free credits, and now I'm out of the credits. I think are over
Mm,
literally like right now. They won't be as far out as end of August.
okay. We should
But
maybe get
last
me
year they
a.
were in the window, and so any amount of charging I did on the way down, which is back and forth, was probably not more than $60 would have been anyways, but it was free for me.
Okay.
So it's just
Want to
a big expensive valet parking cost. So
go over the links?
yeah, they're all your links. I didn't have really anything. I
You
like a
didn't
lot of stuff
even
in
watch
TikTok,
them.
but there's also I didn't I was baking yesterday last night. I didn't log onto this main computer that much. I try to watch Foundation, but every 30 minutes I had to run down to the kitchen to stretch and fold sourdough.
Okay, let's go over the links. The Odd Cube air purifier, that's like a Kickstarter thing. Polymatic links slash 1MQ. He's making his own air purifier with standardized air quotes air purifiers. It's like filters.
Mm-hmm.
Polymatic links slash 1MQ. Then Hype
I'll have to
video by.
take. Well, let me go back to the odd cube. So I do the one where you take the MERV filters and you kind of create a cube, and you put
Yeah.
some cardboard at the bottom, and you put a box fan on top. And I built one of those here, and I refreshed the filters recently, and going to build a second one. I have all the materials, I just haven't done it yet. So that's what I do, and that's great for localized air filtering, especially in your kitchen when you've fried something, right? So I'm curious how that's different than I think it's called the Corey Rosenthal box.
Well, go check it out. Polymatic links slash 1MQ.
Okay. Yep.
Then there's Hype. This is about the Swatch, new Swatch watch. This is a German video by Plankton. Polymatic link slash 1MR. There's subtitles if you turn them on, right? So it can do auto-translated subtitles. But yeah, you should definitely check that. He's pretty funny, but like mostly if you know German, so because he speaks quite fast. But this is about the little
The
Swatch thing
event.
that came out. Their
Yeah.
collab with some other watch company. I don't really pay
Yeah,
attention to
I
that kind
don't.
of stuff.
I'm not into it either. But we have a Swatch store here in King of Prussia, and I had some kind of club event, and one of the guys who drives a pretty distance away comes out. He likes to go to our mall, so he's out here a lot. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to make it out of the event." And I go, "Why?" I said, "Well, I got to head back home to take my test." And I was supposed to take the test at this place, but someone apparently broke into the mall, and he sent me some video of it, pictures of it, and it turned out to be the Swatch event. So someone at 4 a.m. broke in and broke into the mall, trespassed it, so that they could line up at the store that's not even open yet, for a mall that's not even open yet. We're talking like 4 a.m. compared to 11 a.m. So that, these are like the people that get the latest, hottest thing so they can sell it for an, inflated
Yep.
price on,
A
online.
plastic watch.
Yeah. And so that broke in, and then that required a local area. And so I saw lots of news and lots of pictures days after where people are reporting on this. And I was like, oh, yeah. Gary sent me pictures. I was like, what the hell?
So it's Polymatic link slash 1MR for that. Then there is Cody's Lab. Polymatic link slash 1MS for a dirt-powered vacuum.
Okay.
Interesting concept, anyway.
Did it
So
work?
then
Did it work?
it did. It did
Did it work well?
for what he was trying to do. Yes.
Okay.
So then there is I found a lost Roman road that nobody knew existed using LiDAR. Polymatic link slash 1MT. Not everybody here in the video was as good as the main host had a bit of enthusiasm, but then there's another guy in there that not great. Polymatic link slash 1MT for that. Then there is time dilation visualized. Polymatic link slash 1MU. This is about the Project Hail Mary movie. it has like 3 point some million views. I've seen his stuff before. I didn't know that was this channel, but it mostly was on TikTok that I saw his stuff because they recut his videos and
They
then put
clip
them
it.
up on TikTok, and they make money off it with
Was it?
user 12345 6
Got it.
whatever.
Got it. So it wasn't his clips. It was people reclipping.
Yep.
Yeah,
And there's
it's
like even
such
people on there that do clips, but then they use the person's
right.
name, and that's not really them. So
It's really crappy. Well, that's sometimes when I see the same one being pushed again and again and again, I decide whether I want to like it or not, or what when I watch it, or just block them. And you have to go click into the profile to see what the underpinning, you know, name is. But also, you want to look for a verified mark, at least in TikTok.
also they now put like distortions over it, video
Right,
distortions
put
and
a
all sorts of
line
like
across
crap.
it or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
hate that. And I was like, yeah, I would have watched this, but I don't want to support this person, so I'll block and I won't like.
Anyway, Polymatic.link/1mu for this one, and then the history of 4chan. Polymatic.link/1mv. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
it
be
was an
interested.
interesting watch.
I'll be interested in seeing it because I was there when all the stuff was started, and I because of out of the outskirts of Pound Fan Subs, I knew lots of Unix admin professional people that helped him get his stuff stabilized and started. So I don't know what their participation is in current day, but or through all the historical event chains, but interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we had him
It's
on the
worth turning
podcast.
on the tablet while you're watching while you're cooking.
Yeah, I'd be curious to watch it.
Polymatic.link/1mv.
Yeah. Okay.
And something really weird is happening on Tinder. Polymatic.link/1mw. It was an interesting video about like why certain things were happening and then what the reason was behind it. I kind of guessed at the start of it that was what was happening. But yeah, well, I was close anyway. So yeah, that was it, I guess. Alan, where can they find you?
Nowhere.
Polymatic.link/Alan for that one. You can find me at Polymatic.link/John. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast at Polymatic.media. Our website is Polymatic.media, where you can find all our links too. And I hope you tune in next time.